The year is drawing to a close, and Patlabor EZY will grace us next year. Unless you're Japanese, we barely know anything about Patlabor EZY whatsoever, so why not have some fun and speculate? This video will be somewhat different from my other videos. No real analysis, just what I'd like to see from EZY when it finally, hopefully, hits the West. So first off, the only thing we have to go off of are these screenshots, and I'm sure everyone has seen them already by now, and they don't offer a lot of info. Though it is pretty evident that this is entirely different from Reboot, given the new shoulders of the Ingram you can see here. And you can also see the captain from Reboot is in the screenshot as well, so she might be coming back. This screenshot is also pretty interesting. You can see the Ingram blocking an attack from this labor here. And the way these two parts are shaped make me believe it's probably the Tyrant, with this being the cockpit and that being the arm. Other than that, we don't know much. There is this one interview, but I don't speak Japanese, so out of luck there. Regardless, when we do finally see EZY, there are a few things I'd like to see from it when it finally drops. First thing I do want to see is that it gets properly subbed. Like, I'm dubbed trash, but I also don't mind subbed at all. It'd be the least I can do for us fans here in the West. Aside from that, I would also like to see some new labors. Given that this takes place in the 2020s, which is now over 20 years after the original show, Noah and the gang are as old as hell now. I would like to know, where has labor development gone? What has Shinohara Heavy Industries, Hishi, and Shaft been doing all this time? Thankfully, at least they're still all using labors. They didn't get hit with that, actually, big robots aren't practical idea. If I really want to start getting a little funny with these ideas, what if we brought in the Operation Tokyo Bay labors from the PC-98 game? It also takes place in the on-television timeline, and its canonicity can be debated. However, it'd be pretty cool to see them show up. Only thing is, the designs can stray a little when it comes to normal labor designs, but I'd get it if they want to tone them down a bit. Hey, by proxy, we could also see more labor weapon usage aside from the revolver cannon, the riot cannon, and the auto cannon. Maybe we could see those giant MGs the Brockens can use. On the topic of where corporations are now, I also want to see Shaft still dominating in different manufacturing industries. I want to see people using Shaft branded phones. I want to see Shaft branded cars and clothing. I want to see that. Despite everything that happened in on television, they're still kicking as per usual. Shinohara Heavy Industries would still be edging out in the labor market though. That's going to be key. Maybe it'd be cool to see Hishi be able to challenge the two, since they do kind of get washed up in the third generation thanks to Shinohara's mechanical breakthroughs. Another thing I'd like to see, or I should say like to keep, is please, I know Patlabor likes to be realistic, but please keep the slightly unnatural hair colors. Goto, Asuma, Oda rocking the true blue, Noah with their auburn hair, then Kumagami with their nice silver hair. Not to mention, all the other characters have like out of the ordinary hair colors. We need to preserve this style, please. There's also the online aspect as well. Like, back in the 1980s, they didn't know where the internet would be or like how it would be by now. But since this is now in the 2020s, after all this time, I want to see what it's like for them to keep PR online. We essentially saw like what was Twitter in the reboot, and then there's some kind of streaming service in the reboot as well. I want to see what they do with that. Noah for sure will be in those thousands of threads that thirst over real people or political figures or any attractive working class people, but I'm not entirely sure what they do with it specifically. I think it'd be interesting just throwing darts at a board basically. Now, this is more fan servicey than an actual part of the anime itself, but callbacks would be really nice to see. For instance, the Griffin. I'm not saying bring it back or make a Griffin 2, but I want to see the effects of the Griffin's appearance after all these years in the modern day. Maybe some reanimated footage of it, fighting against the Ingram that was being viewed on old tapes or something like that. This could also be done with the Phantom 2 since it's also a TV-related labor, and you don't see it anywhere else. Shaft Enterprises and the police could have some subtle, uneasy relationship with each other. And they know what happened all those years ago, but what's done is done. This also feeds back into my idea for labor development just improving substantially. I have my own little theory about what could happen as a result of the Griffin's appearance. Given that the on-television timeline and the movie timeline are considered two separate ones, this offers for a different outlook for the world of Patlabor. The movie timeline was doomed, the downfall timeline of Patlabor. The Babylon project ended up being the giant money pit, and labor development was on the decline. Not even military laborers could keep up, slowly getting phased out as time went on according to the next generation. What if, in the movie timeline, the potential of laborers just wasn't there, or at least, they could not see it for what it potentially could be? The most impressive labor in the movie timeline was the HAL X-10. It was a mobile platform that could hover, fire missiles, and tons of other ammunition. It could also roll on the ground and walk on its legs too. Other than that, laborers are mostly not too dissimilar from each other, at least depending on the role they played. The Zero was powerful and it could mangle just about any labor, but it was expensive and required a lot of external equipment to function as intended. What could laborers do that stuff we already have can't do? Enter the Griffin, man. The Griffin was legendary. It's one of, if not the, most powerful labor in all of Patlabor. Number 1, this thing is fast as hell, dodging shots from the riot cannon on a dime, and appearing as a black streak on monitors. It tears through military-grade labors like butter, and can take down entire squads of them given the right circumstances. Not to mention that this thing can fly, straight up, take off into the air, something you could only dream of doing. You'd think it's sacrificing its durability for power and speed. Nope, this thing is beefy as well, tanking explosions from behind, surviving a crane crushing it, and taking a revolver cannon to the head, which most laborers could not do of the time. It was beat up bad in his first fight against Noah, but compare these two images. Which one still looks salvageable to you? Later on, we see the damn thing swim too. This was a labor of miracles, something any manufacturer could only dream of making. The Griffin was broadcasted on live television too. You can't tell me these big companies and manufacturers didn't see all this insane stuff the Griffin was doing and weren't inspired by it. I bet many of them were trying to make their own Griffin, or at least try to make a labor on the same level as it. A new, well-needed ceiling for laborers was created all those years ago, and because of how expensive the Griffin was, it would definitely take time to reach that ceiling. But this could also breathe new life into the industry as well, that would have been grown tired without it, possibly sparking the same feeling of innovation and uncertainty that happened when labors were first being created. This is all just a theory though. Maybe they'd still follow through with labor just being doomed. Who knows? I hope not, but who knows? Anyways, that's all my thoughts on what would be cool to see in EZY. I just wanted to make this video because why not? It's not like other people making EZY videos, so why not throw my hand to the ring, you know? But comment down below what you'd like to see in EZY. I definitely want to see what those other fans out there would want out of it. With that being said, this is the end of the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you.